Okay, I'm going to be talking on my video now.
It's what?
I said I'm going to be talking on my video.
Okay.
I think. Actually, I'm having to look up at it. I don't like that. Oh well. Life goes on. Hey, Facebook, you're not Facebookers, you're YouTubers. I made a mistake. I did almost 1,000 YouTube videos, and now I'm going to Facebook videos. And it's not that I got tired of Facebook, but they didn't allow more than 25 at a time to view my video. So I said, basically, screw them. Anyway, today is Monday, and I'm having to look down because my camera is up here. So I'll get that changed. And, I'm just now, this is my first one in quite a while. So you'll have to bear with me a little bit. Other than that, I got all these pop-ups keep coming in. And things are going, as you know, or maybe you know, or maybe you don't know, I had heart surgery back in the end of April. I'm doing fair. I can't complain. Would you listen? Yes, I know I need a haircut. Life goes on, but I'm 74 years old and I still have hair. That's the important thing. So I wiped. There's lunch. I dripped. Anyway, this is, like I said, it's starting to, it's new to me. Well, I shouldn't say it's new to me. I've done this for the past couple of years. I think I have on YouTube, I have maybe 200, 250 YouTube videos. But they're some of them are good and some of them are not. My wife and I live out here on an orchard, and to some people that's boring. Well, it's even boring to us. Especially now with my heart condition, it's very boring because I can't walk very far. I can walk. I have to say, walking out from our front door to the street, which is Highway 132 right out here, which is uh, maybe 400 feet, and walking back, I have to sit down sometimes. But the docs say that's expected. That's what happens after heart surgery. You got to take your time, let your heart become adjusted to the new life, as they say, or don't say. And so it's going to be a slow process. Don't worry. As for what I'm going to be doing here, I'm trying to decide what I'm going to talk to you about on my videos. I'm not going to go out and do the videos about First Amendment rights. I don't want to do that. I wouldn't mind doing it, but I'm not going to do it. Because one of those people is going to be shot and killed before long by a police officer. Take my word for it. Unfortunately, law enforcement, they got an itchy trigger finger too often. I can say this because when I was at college, before my wife and I were married, I was at college to become a police officer. And 5 of my schoolmates, as you might call them, were part of the Santa Cruz PD, and they killed somebody. They all got fired, but I decided I didn't want to become a police officer. And instead I went out and went to carpenter school and became a carpenter. And 4 years of school to become a carpenter. But see, I started working for my dad as a carpenter. Well, when I was about 10 years old, I was swinging a hammer. And So I learned early in life, just like my grandfather taught me how to work on an engine. I was out, and I remember I bought a car, a 1953 Chevy, two-door hardtop. It was 1953 Chevy two-door hardtop, and it was when I got it, it needed a transmission. It had a automatic power slide, I think they call them. Well, that was nicknamed power slide, power glide. And so we towed it home, and I jacked it up, dropped the transmission, went to uh, Glen Canyon Auto Records, bought a three-speed transmission, bell housing. Um, Went to I forget where I got the clutch from. I bought a new clutch and pressure plate. I want to say it was in Scotts Valley, whatever the Scotts Valley people were known as back then. I forget their name. Life goes on. Um, and put the clutch uh, and transmission all together. Then I had to go out and buy a new drive line because the drive line for an automatic transmission versus drive line for a stick are different lengths. So I went out and bought a new drive line, and then I got it all put back together, and it ran fine. And then one day I came home and where's the Chevy? Well, my dad said, "You're 13 years old. You're too young for the car." He was more concerned with me getting in the car and driving it, which I drove it back and forth, for 13 years old. I didn't drive it down the street or anything, but I did back it out of the driveway, and uh, I might have driven it down to our mailbox, which was about half a quarter, maybe a half a mile down the street. But yeah, I didn't get out and drive it anywhere, because I didn't have a license. You didn't get your license back then until you were, what, 16 years old, I guess. Anyway, I had the Chevy, and but like I said, my dad sold it. I bought the car for, I think, $45. My dad sold it for around 500. What did I do wrong? Did I get any money? Nope. Life goes on. Anyway, um, the next car that I had was a 57 Hillman Minx. Piece of crap. But it took me back and forth to Cabrillo College, and for a couple months. And then my brother-in-law to me bought it, and he drove it for maybe a year. And then, but the next car I got, my grandfather gave it to me. It was a 55 Mercury, pink, or I think they called it salmon. Had a 292 V8 in it up front, fast car. Um, and the interior was um, black and white. I think it had custom interior in it. Yeah, but that was a neat car until the engine blew.
That was our car, wasn't it?
My wife just said that was our car because I had that car when I first started dating my wife. And then I blew it when I was out visiting my grandparents out the coast road and coming back. I think what I did was I developed a noise under the hood, and it was a flat spot on the camshaft. Well, that flat spot became damaging, and so one day it stopped. And the next car I bought was a '58 Chevy. Paid $200 for the thing. Um, Bought it home, and I think within 2 months I had to put I had to rebuild the engine, which was no big deal. It's 283, but I rebuilt the engine, um, and I drove the '58 Chevy up for probably maybe a year, and then somebody ran into me when my wife and I were living out by the.
You had that when we were married, didn't you?
Uh, yes, we were married. My wife just said we had that when we were married. Yes, we were married. Um, but I drove it, and somebody in a big Thunderbird, or Thunderbird, or yeah, I think it was a Thunderbird, ran a stop sign and nailed me. And end up 58 Chevy. Um, and
That was the guy on 10th Avenue.
yeah, we were living at 310th Avenue, right on the pond overlooking the beach in Santa Cruz by the yacht harbor. Um, but the guy, hurt. I didn't get hurt. He just destroyed the car. So I got the car home. I think he ended up paying me like $500 for the car, like at $10 a month. If he ever finished paying, I don't know if he ever finished paying it. But I pulled the 283 out, sold the engine, sold the transmission, because they were both good. And then I sold the car to the wrecking yard and a 58 Chevy. My car then, after that, was a 1962 Ford pickup. And it was, being as I became a carpenter, it was fine. I drove it back and forth to San Jose for, oh gosh, probably 3, 4 years. And put a new engine in it. 292 when I got it, had probably 100,000 plus on it. And driving over to San Jose, Blossom Hill, and a Blossom Hill, I did that for several years, and that put on a lot of mileage. And then uh, after that, I bought a 60, I want to say 68 Ford Ranchero. It was green. It was a nice car. Um, and I drove that for maybe a year. Um, and then a bunch of things happened. But anyway, I'm trying to get back into this. What I want to do is see what it looks like. I got to change my camera angle. Uh, Hopefully it recorded the sound, but I don't even know if it recorded sound. And I don't know whether to go with like this, where it's instant, or they have another one where you publish it. But it's a learning process, so go with me there. So enjoy your Monday and be safe, but be very safe. Today's world, you got to be safe.